Good morning, everybody. Nice to see you all. My name's Neil. I work for CTech Plus. I'm one of our contract managers. And it's a real pleasure to be on Chaos TV today, especially on National Employability Day. And I'm joined by some really fantastic people. So we've got a couple of our customers. We've got Zoe. Zoe, give us a wave. Morning, Zoe.
Morning.
Hi there. We've got Luke with us. Luke, give us a wave. Hopefully we can see Luke. Hi there, Luke. You okay? You still with us? Hi there. You okay? And it's not just us and our fantastic customers. We're also joined by a very special guest, the Minister for Work and Pensions, Justin Tomlinson. Morning, Justin.
Oh, yeah.
Hi there. Okay. So we've actually, to be perfectly honest, we've actually been having a very good in-depth conversation about football today, haven't we? Just not there. And I'm sure we could have the whole hour talking about football. But
yes,
the day off. Sorry.
Yes, please.
That would be a lot easier, wouldn't it? But actually, the day after Liverpool winning the league is also another important day. It's National Employability Day. So it's a real pleasure to have you guys on the call today. We're going to be doing some questions, and I understand for anybody watching online that they can text in, get a hold of us, send questions in at any point. But Luke, Zoe, and myself, we've got some questions for you today, Justin. So hopefully not too much for grilling. I'm sure you'll be able to answer them all. But I'm going to go first. And maybe it might be really nice just to kick off, Justin. Just perhaps tell us a little bit about your background, a little bit about your expertise, and what's brought you to the role of Minister for Work and Pensions.
Okay. Well, thank you, Neil. And it was great talking to you, Zoe, and Luke offline, because we've got a lot of Liverpool fans on. So Luke and Zoe are celebrating this morning. But so I'm Justin Tomlinson. I'm the Minister for Disabled People. I'm also the MP for North Swindon. And also I holidayed in Truro last year, this time, just shortly after this time last year. So it's good to be back, even if virtually. I've been an MP for 10 years and Minister pretty much for 5. And before that, I was a councillor for 10 years. So I'd represented where I live. I've got a picture of Parliament behind me, but actually I am in Swindon. Represented my community now for about 20 years. And, I'm very, very lucky. I've never studied politics. I went to a school bottom of the league tables, and I kind of fell into politics. I was complaining about an overgrown bush, and I demanded a councillor sort it out, and he came round to tell me that actually the bush was part of the property I was renting. But he said, at least you showed some passion, why don't you give it a go? And here I am now, responsible for £55 billion worth of government expenditure. So, but I'm really excited about doing this today. Chaos TV. I can add that one to the CV.
It's a first, isn't it? It's a first for a few of us. Yeah, absolutely. That's really helpful. Thank you, Justin, just to give us a bit of context about you and your role. And it certainly helps. So I think we've got our first question from Luke. So Luke, have you got your first question there?
Yes.
All right, Luke. Do you want to go with your first question?
What is the best part about your job?
Good question, Luke. Well, I tell you what, it's the visits. I'm really, really lucky. I get, in normal times, at the moment everything's being done virtually, but in normal times, I get to go all over the country and also in my constituency, meeting some amazing individuals, groups and organisations. And as the Minister for Disabled People, I'm getting to see people showcasing their ability, people who perhaps have had to overcome barriers and have done that and have thrived and love every minute of it. And, I wouldn't swap those experiences for anything. It is really, really inspiring seeing some of these people become huge successes. I think I must have been lonely in a former life because I just love meeting people. And you always get tea and cake wherever you go. So that's a bonus as well. But look, it's brilliant to see those people doing so well.
Fantastic. Thank you ever so much, Luke. Great question. We should have done that today, shouldn't we? We should have had a bit of virtual tea and cake actually for this. You got your...
I've got my Panini football sticker mug.
Look at that. Football fan to the core. Fantastic. Okay, thank you ever so much, Luke. That's great. Great question. Zoe, have you got your first question there?
Yeah. What is your positive message to share with the world on Employability Day?
Yeah, great question, Zoe, because the whole point of today's interview is to celebrate Employability Day. And, we have to recognise there are challenges at the moment, but just before COVID-19, we were rightly celebrating record disability employment, 1.4 million more disabled people in work since 2014. And as a government, we had committed, working with organisations like CTEC Plus, that we would get another 1 million disabled people into work by 2027. We were making fantastic progress on there. So yes, these are uncharted, unprecedented times, but we are redoubling our efforts to work with businesses of all sizes all over the country to make sure that people can recognise every individual's ability and that they can come and make a difference to the organisation. I have every confidence with the right personalised and tailored support, more disabled people will get an opportunity to thrive in the workplace.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So I suppose leading on from that a little bit, Justin, a question from me, and probably a bit more specific to the times that we're living in at the minute, but with an expected rise in unemployment, does the government have any specific plans to support people with disabilities to access employment fully? I know you started to touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, and that's important. That's an important thing. So first of all, we've already provided unprecedented support for businesses and employees to make sure that the economy is in its best place to bounce back as quickly as possible, protecting jobs, giving businesses the confidence to start recruiting. We will be significantly increasing the various employment support packages, absolutely making sure that disabled people are part of that, integral at the front, making sure that businesses of all sizes have the confidence to offer opportunities to people with disabled people. We have our schemes such as Disability Confident that share best practice, equip businesses to know that disabled people can help fill those skills gaps and be vital, integral parts of their growing teams. We have Access to Work, which is adapting. It's recognising that more of us will be working from home and therefore providing support in the home place to allow more people to work and to contribute. Look, these are challenging times, but there are businesses that will come through this strongly, and we will do everything we can to make sure disabled people have that opportunity to work and to thrive.
Brilliant. Thank you, Justin. It's great to hear that really positive message today. Thank you ever so much for that. That's great. Okay. Oh, quite a heavy question. Luke, have you got your next question? Yeah. Are you right, Luke? Do you want to go for it?
Yes. Who inspires you?
Who inspires me? Now, it is, and this is genuine. When I go on those visits and I meet particularly young disabled adults where perhaps previously society would have presumed they wouldn't have had an opportunity. And actually with the support and partnerships through organisations like CTEC Plus are able to get an opportunity. Now, in some cases, that might only be a few hours a week. Some cases, it could be full-time work. And they not only love every minute of it and turn up to work every day with a big smile on their face. And I can tell you that isn't the case with all employees in the country. And that the employer has realised by having had the confidence to make often very small changes, they have benefited. So it's a win for the employee given that opportunity, and it's a win for the business. And that's what inspires me, because if I can go around and I can help build partnerships, I can provide the right support so people like CTEC Plus can go and open up those doors, we all benefit. This isn't about asking for favours from businesses. It is about making sure that everybody benefits. Often just need small changes. And I don't just say this as the Minister for Disabled People. I ran my own business before I became an MP. I employed people with disability and I benefited from that. It was a good thing for my business as well as for that individual. I needed that help to know what adjustments I needed to make. And by having organisations like CTEC Plus, the support of Disability Confident, Access to Work and the other government programmes, businesses should embrace the opportunities of employing disabled people.
Fantastic, lovely. Yeah, it's great if we can work with businesses that have that confidence in often making just very, very small changes. Sometimes employers can be a little bit scared, a little bit wary, perhaps of doing the wrong thing. But like you say, support with ours, with CTEC Plus, with a number of other organisations, we can overcome that. You know, that's what we're the specialists in.
And that's where you're so important to this, because you will build the relationship in the local area. And some businesses will be nervous. They can have that sensible conversation with you over a cup of tea in their workplace. And then with your support, they will provide that first opportunity. And then they quickly see that it's actually benefiting them. They're filling up those skills gaps. They're getting committed, hardworking, inspirational individuals joining their organisation. Then they keep coming back. And by doing that, that's how we got that extra 1.4 million disabled people into work. Record numbers. And yes, we got the challenges of COVID-19, but we will overcome those. And when we overcome those, we will continue to push for record disabled employment. We will not rest until everybody has an opportunity to fill their own potential.
Fantastic. Thank you, Justin. That's great. Just quickly then, should we ask Luke and Zoe, is there anybody that inspires you guys at all? Zoe, is there anybody that inspires you? Anybody you look up to?
Don't really. Just don't really know. Really, just.
No. Any role? What about you, Luke? I can imagine who you're might pick. Who'd you look up to?
I think I might know who Luke would go for.
Yeah, should we help him out?
Would it be Jordan Henderson, as you were talking about earlier?
Captain.
Yeah.
I think you're allowed to have him today, Luke. Yeah. And Zoe, what about you?
Well, I'm going to say, because obviously I've got the t-shirt on, F1, because Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Great role model. Yeah, absolutely.
I actually got to see my first live Formula One at Silverstone last year. And it was an amazing experience, don't get me wrong. And I was very, very lucky to get that. But it's hopeless to watch live because they go fast so quickly and you only see like one corner. It's one of those sports, trust me, much better on TV. Football and cricket, much better live. Formula One, stay at home. But great experience, but you need the cameras.
It would just whiz past you, wouldn't it, before you even realise? Yeah, sure. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so I think we are getting some questions coming through on the text. So I'm just going to have a quick look at those. But Zoe, I think you've got the next question for Justin, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. If your life was a movie, what song would you be on your soundtrack?
Well, a little known fact here. My first graduate job after uni was as a nightclub manager. I spent 2 or 3 years as a nightclub manager. So I think the whole movie would probably be based around dance music. And I don't think there's many MPs who worked in nightclubs before going into Parliament. But so it'd be dance music.
That's a great question. Thank you. We could just quickly go to one of the questions from the text, if that's all right, Justin.
Yeah, of course.
If you're happy, because we've got some that are coming through.
If it's not my wife asking me why I haven't put all the stuff away in the dishwasher.
Yeah, actually, there's a whole list there, Justin, of things that you haven't done, actually. It doesn't look good. You might be a busy guy. No, thankfully not today. No, this is from a member of our team, actually, up in the Wirral in Cheshire. And they wanted to know what are the plans of the government to really invest into the youth of the country. Are there any plans to restart the Youth Guarantee Scheme that is funded by Europe under a new guise, perhaps with UK funding?
Yeah, I mean, we as a government are absolutely committed to making sure young people are able to fulfil their potential. We saw youth unemployment more than halve under us since we came to office in 2010. And we are actively working on what are the new programmes, both as we come out of Europe and also as we navigate post-COVID-19. This is absolutely integral, because what we don't want to do is see a repeat of what happened in 2008, where we saw youth unemployment go over 1 million, and people we know from experience that particularly with young people, if they've had a long period of time out of work, how much harder it is to get them back into work. So we've got ambitious plans around apprenticeships, traineeships, sector-based academies, and just recognising that everybody, particularly young people, need that personalised and tailored support to identify where their enthusiasm, where their skill set or potential skill set is, and match them up to employers. We've had some quite late nights this week, working on lots of these programmes, which we'll be, announcing in the coming weeks. I got a free pizza one night, so those late nights did have its plus points. But we're very, very ambitious around this area. And again, organisations like yours will be integral to that. And crucially, what you'll be offering in the Wirral, where that question's come from, will be very different to Plymouth, will be very different to Swindon, because we've all got different towns, different employers in growing sectors or challenges that we must navigate. But absolutely, this is crucial.
Fantastic, thank you. And thank you very much for taking that question on the fly. If there's anybody else that's watching that may want to have a question, serious, silly, please do send them in. So I actually think we're back to me. And we've touched on some of this, and you've been very honest in your answers. But what would be the one thing that you would change on National Employability Day? What would you change in the world of employment, if you could?
I would love every business to know that they can have the confidence to offer disabled people an opportunity in the workplace. The whole thrust behind the Disability Confident campaign is to give confidence to all businesses. And often I will get invited to visit predominantly larger employers, because they've got HR, they've got personnel teams, the chief executives or the management team have said, I think, we should look at employing disabled people, and they make it happen. They then quickly learn that they've benefited, and it goes from there. But a lot of smaller and medium-sized businesses, which provide about 40% of the jobs in the workplace, they don't have HR or personnel teams. And they're the ones a little bit more nervous. They aren't necessarily aware of schemes like Access to Work, which can pay for any physical changes or support workers to help an individual overcome any particular barrier. And what we need to keep doing is keep reminding businesses of all sizes that there is a wealth of support financially or through brilliant organisations like yourselves that can talk things through, make it happen, and then crucially, it's not a favour we want, this is good for them. And if we all work together, they will fill those skills gaps, the individuals get their opportunity, and we benefit with a growing economy. So that's my one wish, just that every business was fully informed about this.
Fantastic. It's great to hear you say that. I was thinking about that question as a similar kind of, if I was asked that, and very similar sort of along the lines. From our practice, we want to make sure that perhaps some of the recruitment processes are adapted, reasonable adjustments put into those, where often our customer group can actually do the job, and they can be fantastic in that role, but the process of actually applying, getting through, sometimes is a little bit more complicated than it actually needs to be. We work with employers to try and adapt that, change that, make it as suitable as possible to get the right candidate. But like you say, with initiatives like Disability Confident, we're able to work with that. And within CTech Plus, we've really been working with that as a brand, and employers are really excited about signing up to that. And then almost like a ripple effect, passing that on to their employers who they link in with, and we can start seeing the benefits of that.
And I'm really grateful for all of the work you and your colleagues are doing for signing up businesses. We're between 17 and 18,000 now. and it grows every single month. And it's so helpful because it's then a platform for us to share best practice. Not just us directly or you as an organisation, but actually business to business. And then they talk about it when they get together for their Chamber of Commerce or Federation Small Business breakfast and things. And actually that then itself gives confidence, and we can highlight some success stories. And once you've opened that door, then it is a conveyor belt. And that is what was integral to us delivering record disability employment.
Lovely. Thank you, Justin. That's great. Okay, so we're coming on to Luke now. Justin, rightly take a sip. Okay, strap into this question. Okay, I'm sure you've been grilled. House of Commons, lots of big questions. Luke's got the toughest one yet. Luke, are you ready for your question? Yeah.
If you were a biscuit, what biscuit would you be?
If I was a biscuit, what biscuit would I be? Do you know, funnily enough, I actually visited CTEC Plus in Swindon, and I had to go through a mock interview, and that was one of the questions that was brought up. But I will change my answer from that day. It would now be chocolate biscotti, and I'll tell you why. Because I've got a 10-month-old daughter who loves them. So every time I go to the supermarket, it is ingrained in my brain that I must not forget those. And if I was to forget those, I would have a very disappointed Margot when I came home. So it would be a chocolate biscotti for Margot.
That's a new one on me. I've not heard that one before. Luke, what would you be if you were a biscuit?
If I was the
Are you all right there, Luke?
Pondering his biscuit.
It's a big question, Luke. Take your time on it, honestly. You want to get it right. Have you got it down? What about you, Zoe? Should we come to you, Zoe?
Yeah,
you know, if you would be a biscuit, what would you be?
Probably a chocolate biscuit, I reckon.
Oh, nice choice. Bourbon chocolate biscuits. That's good chocolate. And, you know, I'm missing biscuits in my tea right now. I failed myself.
I'd be a jammy dodger all day.
Nice choice. Yeah.
It says a lot about me as a person. Luke, have you thought any more about your biscuit?
Yes, I would be a ginger nut biscuit.
Good shout. I've just been told by my wife I should have been a milk chocolate cookie because that's her favourite. So
right.
I think that's a hint for what I got to bring back later when I go to the super. I've got a double order now.
You're going to be a busy man the rest of the day, Justin. Thank you very much.
Tell you what, I've been doing my mum's shopping because she's shielding at the moment. And Luke, you'll be pleased to know, I always have to get her ginger snaps, so she'll approve of your choice there. Ginger snaps and rich tea. That's my mum's choice of biscuit.
Very good. Zoe, I think we're on with you. Zoe, have you got the next question for Justin?
Yeah. What advice would you give to someone who was looking for work at the moment?
Oh, good question. You've just got to go for it. You know, I'll give you an example. So I went to school, bottom of the league tables. I didn't go to the greatest university, but I've always asked. I've always wanted to do things, and I've always asked. And when I was an employer, nearly every time I employed someone, it was because somebody had taken the trouble just to drop their CV off. And sometimes people would drop their CV off just as somebody announced they were moving on. And I was very busy at work, and the last thing I had time to do was to do a big recruitment exercise. If somebody had shown a bit of willingness, I always thought that's the key bit, because if they're prepared to come and drop their CV off directly to me, I know they're going to turn up every day. So it's just, you know, work with organisations like CTEC Plus, engage with the skills and the confidence training they're giving you. And when you go to your interview, let them know that you really do want to work there. That's That's something else I remember from interviewing. Just sometimes people would forget to say, do you know what? I do want to work for you. I really like what your business does. I want to be part of that. That is 95% of what employers wanting to hear. As long as they know you're going to turn up, they know that you want to work there and you're going to come in with a smile, because a lot of people you work with will become your friends. So they're looking for a good fit. So, tell them about the things that you enjoy, and I'm sure you'll get quickly snapped up. Yes, it's tough out there at the moment, but there are still businesses recruiting. So just have that confidence to get your CV out there and have a big smile on your face when you go in for an interview.
Yeah, that's a great message to give as you in your previous role as an employer, to tell people, be confident, like you said, go in with a smile, be that little bit brave perhaps, go in with a CV, take a chance. I remember, when I got my first job, I got it completely on chance, just took a chance and went in and just asked about it. So I think that's a great message to say to people, be confident, go out there, and like you say, if there's a bit of support from CTech Plus as well, we can do that with you. Yeah, and anything is possible, isn't it? Absolutely. So we've got some more questions. Questions come in, Justin. We're not going to let you get away.
Okay.
Just saying that you would have rave music from your past. We need something a little bit more specific. So we've had a question come in to say, what's your favourite rave tune?
Well, my very first concert was The Prodigy. So the track I've listened to more than any, if there was like a top 40 of the tracks I've listened to in my life, it would be Prodigy Charlie. Some of the older people might remember that one. But I've been to raves all over the country, including in Plymouth when I was a bit younger. Yeah, it's a good first concert. It still holds today. 1994, Wolverhampton Wolfrun, the smaller of the. They weren't even big enough to fill the Civic at that point. This was a small venue. It was only about 1,200 capacity. Great times.
Right, what a great band, and super loud as well. I've seen them before, and way louder than any other band.
Yeah,
they're very good.
We used to practice the dance moves at home. We were hopeless.
Oh, Justin, you haven't got any dance moves now for us, have you?
No, your viewing figures would go off a cliff edge, so we'll leave that to a rare night out.
Well, listen, if you can't have a rave on National Employability Day, when else can you have it? We could be doing big box, small box, we could be doing it all.
That's on.
Zoe's giggling. I think Zoe's got some moves.
Yeah.
Hey, Zoe and Luke, Neil and I were young once.
Was, despite going, yeah. So, just got one more quick question, and then we're going to move on to something a little bit different. Really keen to know what, in particular, you, Justin, or come to Zoe and Luke, what have you been doing in lockdown, just to keep yourself healthy and well?
Well, during lockdown, obviously I'm still working, so half my week is spent being the sort of North Swindon constituency MP, the other half as the minister, and generally in Swindon it was providing advice on the guidance, what you could or couldn't do and what support you can access. As a minister, it was predominantly making sure that our frontline services were maintained, universal credit, processing over 2 million new claims, making sure that disability benefits remained open so new claimants could access support, those with changing conditions or those who were terminally ill, whilst those already in the system we rightly auto-extended so we could suspend face-to-face assessments, so nobody was missing out on the vital support. But in terms of keeping active, got a 10-month-old daughter, Margot, who can now crawl. And so you do not get 5 seconds. I never believed this. Everybody warned me about this, but we were so excited when she first crawled. And within minutes, we realised that now nothing is safe in the house. Every cupboard is open. She dives for the stairs. She's pulling all sorts of things out. So we're dashing around. And we've just recently bought her a tricycle that she is buzzing in, so she loves us pushing us all around the estate hours on end. So probably my step count has gone through the roof thanks to my old daughter Margot. Thankfully she's napping during this interview.
Eyes in the back of your head, I imagine,
asleep at the moment.
Hello, we still. I think we might have frozen. Hello, how are we doing?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
we
we're
froze
all
them for a moment.
Yeah.
Joys of modern technology. We were doing really, really well, weren't we? We hadn't lost anybody. We were doing excellent. Thank you, Justin. Very quickly, Zoe, what have you been doing during lockdown to keep yourself fit and well?
Well, I've been going out for like daily walks. Sometimes I've been walking like around my area, or sometimes we've been like going out. Like when we had that nice weather, I went on a hoe and just have a bit of a walk around. And I've just been like doing rainbows, like and obviously making what they call like skew beads and making like loom bands and one stage we had like a ice cream van that come out to us and delivered ice creams, which was quite nice because it was really hot that day. And obviously sometimes I go out with mum, deliver shopping, like because I like to them and Nan and Grandad, they're like shielded, so we go out and just deliver shopping. And yeah, so I've been trying to like keep myself busy and all that. And obviously it's not on at the moment, but I've been watching like the news, see what's going on with all this like COVID and keeping up to date with it all. But yeah, I've been trying to keep myself busy.
Zoe, that sounds fantastic, and the fact that you've been going out and supporting your family members doing food drops and such like is brilliant. That doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
And that's really good for your CV as well, because again, as an employer, you're looking for that bit of extra. What have you done that shows that you will go that extra mile? To make sure that's on your CV for future job interviews, because that's a really impressive thing.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you, Zoe. That's great. And yourself, Luke? Luke, what have you been doing in lockdown to keep yourself healthy and well?
I've been using my weights in my house by exercising, by doing some weightlifting. I've also been doing some baking. I baked Mars bar and Twix cheesecake.
Oh.
Also been playing Xbox. Went in town a few days ago, done some clothes shopping, and watched Chelsea and Man City last night.
Did you run around celebrating your beloved Liverpool? That would have been good for your exercise, you two. When Liverpool won, did you run around celebrating?
Yeah.
Just a bit. Luke, I didn't realise you baked. I can't wait to have you back in our unit for you to start bringing some of these cakes in. That's great news.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold you to that, Luke.
I've been doing a bit of baking as well. I've been making chocolate chip buns, cherry buns, and Rice Krispie cakes.
We're getting a thumbs up from my wife. I think that means we've got to come and do a visit.
You're more than welcome, and hopefully you have got the exercise from your daughter, because I think once you have all the cakes from coming down to Plymouth, then we're going to have to do a bit more exercise. I'm happy with that. We'll work all of that off. Thank you guys, and thank you for letting us know everything. Really, really positive things going on in lockdown. So that's really great. So we come to a slightly different part of this morning's session. So Luke and Zoe work in one of our training units, and as part of working in the training units, they produce a number of different items, which we then go on to sell. And then the profits of that, the money of that, goes back into the service. It really looks to benefit the provision, giving some fantastic opportunities to our guys that come and work with us at CTEC Plus. So I think I'm going to be the glamorous, well, not so glamorous assistant at this point. So I'm going to be holding up some items as best as I possibly can. And I think, Zoe, you're going to start us off, I think, aren't you, by doing a little bit of description about some of the items that we are able to sell?
Yeah.
You can work on shopping channels.
Yeah.
That's my favourite task on The Apprentice, you know. I love it in the TV program The Apprentice when they get to do the shopping channel, because it's really, really hard because you have the people talking in the mic at the same time. Yeah. So I'm excited about this bit. Come on, Zoe, sell me something.
Okay, so we've obviously in woodwork and that they make like obviously the bird boxes, like the bug boxes,
Oh yeah.
and what else is it? Hedgehog boxes. Yeah, so like obviously in that department they make all sort of all wood stuff, like obviously that the bird boxes and bug boxes, and obviously they make benches and.
So, Zoe,
Yeah.
can you tell us a little bit about where does some of the wood come from this that we get to make these?
Okay, so the wood comes from like scaffolding places, so like gems scaffolding. They go off and collect it from there, bring it back.
There's
And
recycling.
then, yeah, so it comes back, and then they make whatever, like obviously the bird boxes and yeah. So
And do you know how many we've sold to date?
no.
Ah, right. Well, I can tell you, we've sold over 1,000 of these bird boxes locally.
Wow.
These are a really popular item. And both Zoe.
They look
Sorry.
really professionally done, and I say that as somebody who was utterly dreadful at woodwork at school. And I'm loving the fact that they're painted blue and white with that hatch at the top, which reminds me of Blackburn Rovers, because Zoe and Luke were both saying how that they hope one day the Liverpool team would be as good as the Blackburn Rovers Premier League winning team. So that's a lovely link.
That's phenomenal. There won't be one thing out of today that we managed to draw a comparison from bird boxes to Blackburn Rovers. We brought it back round to football. It's perfect. Well done. That's great. So this is one of our items, one of the bird boxes that both Zoe and Luke get to make. They get to design. Really, really popular item.
Really good skill, that. That's really good.
Absolutely, yeah. And we've always been really, really keen to make sure it's a quality item.
Yeah.
So when it's sold, and these absolutely are, and people come back to us and will buy multiples of these as well. So I think, Luke, are you going to talk about the next item? If I was to go and grab the next one.
Yeah.
What's our next item, Luke?
This comes in three different sizes. Now, one I show you now, it's the smallest size. Made from scrap bits of wood and bamboo. Prices £3 to £4 and £5.
You're a star. Thank you, Luke. That's great. So, as Luke said,
they're so important for the environment, these now, aren't they? With the biodiversity, supporting insects and bees. Those are amazing. And again, you're using recycled materials. This is really on trend. Very impressive.
Yeah, these are really good and really great as like an educational tool as well for little ones. You know, so because they will attract all the bugs and the insects and just some of the wildlife within the garden. It's so, a lovely learning tool.
Luke and Zoe, tell me, when you first came, did you think you'd be able to build these sorts of things?
No.
I wouldn't have a clue.
No.
So have you enjoyed doing it?
Yeah, I obviously not in the woodwork bit, but it's, I know obviously when it comes out is when they bring the wood back and it comes back, whatever it is, it's always quite good to see what it comes out like after.
Amazing stuff. I'm really impressed by this.
That's good. So we have our bug boxes. This is the smallest one, as Luke said. So they go up in different sizes. Goodness knows what the large ones will attract. Goodness knows all sorts. But those are bug boxes. And I think, Zoe, you're going to talk about some of our plaques?
Yeah. So the plaques, so these are made from plywood, and the one presentation today has a palette theme
Yeah.
These come in various sizes and colours, with or without the frame. We have some set quote and phrases, but we can also do bespoke. If so, you have a saying within your family or friendship group, then we can produce it for you. These are various prices, starting as little as £5.
They're amazing. Can you guess what I'd have as my message? I'm only going to say this because my wife's just popped out the room, so I'm safe to. Mine would have "in a minute," because apparently whenever I'm told to do something, I'm always like, "In a minute."
How long does that minute last for? Yeah. Never quite just. Okay. So never just quite just a minute though, is it? And I think we've also got these other ones. Luke, did you want to talk a bit about these ones as well?
Yes.
Before I get these up.
Log signs. These are made from logs which our garden team have cut down, brought back to the craft unit to be standard. They very wood, but vinyl wood was our vinyl, which are stuck on and then varnished. It painted over top of the also comes in different shapes and sizes. Depending on the log, then get cut down. Prices start as £1 for small. This one is £3.50.
Thank you, Luke. Beautifully read. Thank you very much.
I think between Zoe and Luke, your sales are going to go through the roof. Chaos TV viewers are probably jamming the order lines right now. So we'll need you back in the workshops as soon as possible because there's going to be a big backlog.
I think
you two you're going to go global as the international sales teams.
The phone is ringing off the hook. I can tell you that already here in the studio. We got about 1 minute 30 left, so I just thought I'd let you know if you want to wrap up, and because we're nearly out of time. I mean, we could have you guys on all day. I can quite happily, clear the schedule till 5 o'clock and listen to you guys.
I'm fine with that. I'm having a great time.
So thank you very much, Nathan. Thank you for letting us know. So we're probably at the stage of wrapping up. We could talk all day. We were going to talk a bit about some of our larger items benches as well that we also make. But I just wanted to thank Zoe and Luke. Thank you so much for being part of the call today and asking your questions and being so well prepped. Thank you in the background to Kerry, who's been supporting Luke, and also Rachel has been supporting us from afar. And yourself, Justin, thank you so much. We appreciate you're a very busy man. So thank you for your time with us today. Thank you for your honesty, and thank you for making our National Employability Day on KSTV a great start. So thank you very much.
My pleasure. Can I just quickly say, I've been incredibly impressed by Zoe and Luke. You're brilliant representatives of the great work that the CTech Plus team are doing. You really showcase the very best of why we have organisations like CTech Plus and Chaos TV. I'm really impressed And next time I come down to Truro to watch Swindon Supermarine play football, I'm going to have to come and visit you all. I know there's tea and cake waiting. So thank you, everybody. It's been great fun.
We'll hold you to that, Justin. Careful.
Pleasure.
Thanks, everybody. That was lovely. Thank you so much.